Today on Doodle Draw Art, we're going to draw Mike, and this is a request from my subscriber, Life Against the Grain. I'm going to start off by drawing his body shape. Mike's body is pretty much an egg shape. I'm just going to be a bit fussy about it here because it's going to be just right. Otherwise it's really not going to look like Mike. He's not a circle. Just going to bring it in a little bit on the side here. I think that's better. Now I'm just going to erase a bit so I'm happy with these lines and I'm not mixed up about which ones I decided on. That's the great thing about sketching. You can continue to work it until you like it. Now his ears are not at the top of his head. And this view I'm doing of Mike is a little bit of a side angle, so his ears are not level. And he's wearing a ball cap. It's a Monsters University ball cap. And I'll make the brim swooping in this direction. Alright. Now his eyebrow starts just below his ear here and it swoops right up under his brim of his hat. Something like this. I'm going to refine this, but I don't know if this is his eyebrow or his eyelid, but it's definitely, he's a monster. I'm not sure if his anatomy is quite the same as ours. So I'm just going to work this a little bit until I get a bit happy with it. I'm going to have to fix it up a bit after. But now here we go, making his, no, I'm just going to fix this a little bit more. I feel like it's narrower at the bottom. So that's better. To make his eye, we're going to go down around and then up a bit, not much, and meeting again. So this is his opening, the eye opening, and here's his eyeball, which is going to be blue, and this is the black part of his eye, and then I'm just going to keep working on this. I want it to meet just outside his actual eye, so I think this is going to be better. Alright, I'll come back to that later. Now his smile is kind of a crooked smile, and that's about it right there. And now for his arms, I'm just going to right now draw some ovals. He's got one hand on a hip, and then over here he's holding some books. So I'll draw the rectangles for the books. Those are the ends of the pages. And then that's the actual cover of the book. Now his other arm's going over the books, and then down, and then his hand is going to be holding onto the books. And his legs, we'll make some long skinny ovals for legs. That's the first part to the knee. And then down to the lower part of the leg. And he's going to have 3 toes on each foot. It's kind of froggish. And 3 toes, his other foot's pointing out to the side, because like I said, this is a little bit of a side view. Alright, so now I'm just going to go over all of my lines here and find the real outlines of Mike with some of the details. Like a heel shape here. And then I'm going to actually make his toes with little toenails. He's got claw toenails. Each toe has a toenail, and his other toe with a toenail. And we'll do the same thing on the other leg. There's his heel. And I'll go up his foot and straight up his knee towards his body. And then we're going to do the side of his face. I'm just going to go right up to the top from his cap. And then his horns, ears, horns, I'm not sure what they are. Now his skinny arms, I'm just going to make these lines really nice. Nice and skinny. And then the crook of his elbow, I'm going to reach in a little further to grab. And then around the corner, and around the corner, and around the corner. And then draw his little palm of his hand in there too. And I'll just show one more finger in the background. Now the other side. First I'm going to outline the shape of these books. It's the end of the book. And that's the cover of the book. And those are the pages. You can see. Now his arm comes over and around and down his fingers, which are going to wrap around. Now this is the inside of his arm, wrapping around the book, and then he's going to have his hand and his thumb holding on there. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit because there's an awful lot of sketch lines coming into play. Those are the ends of the books, the cover of the books. That's looking pretty good. Now, just going to touch things up here around his hat. And he goes to Monsters University, so now I'm going to make block letters by outlining my letter MU. We did some block lettering before when we wrote our Halloween sign back in October. I might do a tutorial on how to practice making block letters. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to refine my lines here so that I'm really feeling better about it. Now that I can see his whole shape, it's a little bit easier for me to decide if it looks quite right. And his mouth is happy, so it curves up a bit at the corner. And then his lips are just a hint of lips. There's just two little fine lines around this closed mouth. And now it's time to outline in black. So I'm just doing all of the outlines, the ones that I was finalizing just now. I'm using my regular Sharpie for most of this, for all of this part, and I'm going to come back after and use my fine line Sharpie to do his face details. Alright, so just do his horns here with my regular Sharpie. I'm going to switch to my fine liner, and I'm going to go over all of these eye features with a fine line. And now I see that I can go back with my regular Sharpie and just make his eye a little bit more, the eyeball part is really quite bold. So I'm just going to go over those lines and make a little circle to reflect. And that leg's in the back, so I'm going to make his body come in front of it. Alright, and now Monsters University, back to my fine Sharpie to outline the MU. This is the first time I've ever drawn Mike. It was quite fun. I really quite enjoyed drawing him. He was harder than I thought he was going to be, though. This whole drawing took me 17 minutes to do, including coloring time. So don't rush your work. Take your time. Get it just right. Alright, so now to color Mike, I'm going to start off with this yellow-green. So there's green-yellow and there's yellow-green, but this one is green, but it's yellow-green. And I'm going over his entire body just with a faint coat of this yellow-green. I'm going to use this color again after, but this is just to get things started. Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to highlight. So I'm going to now go to green-yellow. So this is a yellow color. I'm just adding some highlight above his eye and in his eyebrow, or his eyelid, and then in his mouth area. And then a little bit of highlight on the most extended middle sections, I guess, of his arms and legs. And now I'm going to do some shadows. And now I'm using blue, but it's blue-green. So it's half green, half blue, but I'm just adding shadows now. And it's not really going to look like the right color at the moment, but you're going to see after that it's going to blend so nicely. So I'm going down the left side of his legs and around his toes. So out the left side, just a bit of this blue-green. And around the edges of his body and in his eye area just to give him some texture shape. So anywhere that there would be a shadow, darkening it up just a little bit with this blue-green. And that makes him look round instead of one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Gives him a bit of a third dimension. So now I'm back again to my yellow-green, the color I started with. And I'm pressing more firmly now and blending in all of these greens and yellows together, just to give him a really nice, I see it could be darker here up under his hat where the light's not reaching him as much. And then back in with my yellow-green. Nice firm pressure, blending all these colors together. The firmer you press, the nicer it's going to blend. Getting all kinds of color. Nice. I'm just going to go back in and continue pressing and adding more color until I'm happy. Now for his eyes, I'm using the blue, green, and black. And dark blue for his hat, and light blue in the middle, and some gray for his nails and the book and his horns, and then we'll color the book. I've got a green book and a blue book. So there you have it. There's my Mike for today, going out to life against the grain. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw Mike today, and I hope you subscribe to my channel for more doodle draw art fun. And you can find me on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter, but I'd love it if you'd come back and join me more often on YouTube.